If your whole mood depends on one girl texting you back, you're doing this wrong. If your day goes from good to terrible because she left you on read, that's the problem. Not her. You. The way you see her, the way you see yourself. You keep trying harder, being nicer, sending longer messages, planning more dates, hoping she finally gets it. And every time you do that from a needy place, you lose more respect, and you lose more attraction. You don't lose a girl when she leaves. You lose her way earlier, when she feels you need her more than you need your own respect. The moment your life starts to revolve around her reactions, she feels it. She might not say anything, but she senses it. In how fast you reply, in how your energy drops when she is cold, in how your plans change the second she hints she might be free. You think you're showing love, she feels pressure. Most guys were raised on the wrong script. Be extra nice. Always agree. Put her first. Tell her everything. Make her happy at any cost. You think that if you are always available and always open, she'll feel safe and love you more. But look at your own life. Has that worked? Or do you notice the pattern where she starts losing interest right when you become the most available and emotional? What you call love often looks like dependence. You text her all day. You ask her opinion on every small decision. You stare at your phone, waiting for her name to pop up. Underneath that, the message is simple. Your life is empty without her. Most women don't feel special when they sense that. They feel trapped. They feel like now they have to carry your feelings and your self-worth on top of their own life. She didn't notice you in the first place because you were desperate. She noticed you because there was something going on in your life. Maybe it was your focus. Maybe it was how you carried yourself. Maybe it was your sense of direction. You had your own rhythm, your own interests, your own mood. When you make her the center, you kill all of that. You stop being the guy she met and turn into a fan. That is why this has to change. Not for some dramatic alpha image, but because living like that drains you. You lose sleep over someone who is just living their life. You push your goals aside to keep a conversation going. You bend your values so she doesn't get annoyed. That isn't real love. That is you abandoning yourself. Power with women starts with not needing any one woman to feel whole. And that doesn't mean acting cold or pretending you don't care. It means you build such a solid life that if she walks away tomorrow, your routines, your goals, your standards stay the same. You feel the pain? Sure, but your structure doesn't collapse. So the first change is simple to say and hard to do. Stop needing her and start needing your own respect. That means your actions stop orbiting her approval and start lining up with your standards. You stop checking if she watched your story. You stop reading the same messages 10 times looking for hidden meaning. You stop treating her silence like an emergency and start treating it like what it is: information. Every minute you spend studying her behavior is a minute taken from your own progress. You could use that time to build skills, to train, to work, to actually move your life forward. Instead, you sit there asking why she used a different emoji. That is how you hand away your power. You take it back by putting your energy into yourself in a serious way. Wake up earlier than you do now and actually move your body. Lift, run, stretch, whatever. Push yourself until your excuses start sounding weak, even to you. A tired body with effort behind it feels better than a restless body lying in bed, scrolling her page. Then you feed your mind, not with random content that keeps you entertained, but with ideas that make you think. Read about self-discipline, about how people manage emotions, about strategy, about how humans really work. Take notes. Try one idea. See what happens. Even a small change like this slowly pulls your focus back from her and places it on you. You also have to clean up your environment. That includes people. If you are always around guys who complain, gossip, and never change, they keep you stuck. If you're always talking to girls who drain you and add nothing, you stay distracted. Start cutting that noise. You can still be polite, but you don't need to give your time and attention to everyone who asks. On top of that, you need to build a clear direction for your life. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just pick a path that matters to you. School, business, career, a creative project, a skill, something that takes effort and time. When you treat that seriously, your days start to fill with work that actually moves you forward. You become busy in a real way, not fake busy pretending. This is where something important happens. When you live like this for long enough, you stop being so fragile emotionally. You become more okay with discomfort. You are used to tired muscles, to hard tasks, to being bored while studying, and you push through anyway. That same toughness shows up when a woman pulls away or acts distant. You feel it, but you don't break. And that is exactly what changes how she sees you. Most guys panic at the slightest shift in her mood. She gets quiet, they overthink, and chase. She takes longer to respond, they send more messages. She tests them, they fold. When you are grounded, you don't do that. You notice the change, you adjust your effort, and you stay calm. You don't start a fight. You don't beg. You don't perform. That calm is what she respects. That calm is also what you need for yourself, with or without her. Because the real battlefield is not between you and women. It is between you and your reactions. If every cold text from her controls your whole day, it shows you don't have control over your own mind yet. So you start to master that. You watch your thoughts like they're on a screen, and you stop obeying everyone. You feel jealousy. You feel fear. You feel anger. You don't deny them, but you also don't let them drive your behavior. You pause. You breathe. You wait. You respond when your head is clear, not when your emotions are loud. This is where you decide not to send the angry message. Not to triple text. Not to write a long paragraph explaining why you're a good guy. When the urge to prove yourself shows up, you just sit with it. You let it pass. You remind yourself, if someone doesn't see your value, explaining it for 10 minutes won't fix it. Your life and your actions show it over time. You don't get this strength by accident. You build it through repetition. Every time you still go to the gym even when your mood is bad, you teach your brain that feelings don't control your discipline. Every time you sit quietly for a few minutes and breathe instead of reacting, you create a new pattern. Every time you write your thoughts down instead of dumping them onto her, you grow. You also shape your values on purpose. You decide what kind of man you want to be. Honest, reliable, focused, loyal, whatever matters to you. Then you match your actions to that, even when no one is there to clap for you. That is how you start trusting yourself. And a woman can only really trust a man who already trusts his own choices. Now, we need to talk about frame. People throw that word around, but keep it simple. Your frame is the way you see yourself and the standards you live by. It's your line. If you don't have one, you end up living inside hers. You adapt to her mood, her schedule, her attitude, her view of you. You become a guest in your own life. When you have a clear frame, certain things are non-negotiable. Respect, honesty, effort. If someone breaks those, you don't argue for days trying to convince them. You make a decision. You either address it once very clearly, or you walk away. You don't keep going back and forth just to avoid being alone for a while. Every time you bend your values to keep a girl, you lose a bit of her respect and a big piece of your own. Say you told yourself you would never accept cheating, or constant lying, or constant last-minute flaking. Then it happens, and you stay, and you justify it. She sees that. You think you're keeping her, but you just showed her you don't stand on anything real. Holding frame doesn't mean shouting or acting tough. It means calmly sticking to your standards even when it's uncomfortable. It's the ability to say no in your own way and stay relaxed. You're not trying to hurt her, you're just protecting your life. That difference is important because real strength doesn't need to be loud. You also need to see yourself as the chooser, not the one begging to be selected. Your life is not an application form. You are building something. You are choosing who gets access to you. The more seriously you take your time, your energy, your values, the less willing you are to hand them to anyone just because they are pretty or give you attention. That attitude changes how you act in small moments. You don't tolerate open disrespect. You don't let people talk to you in any kind of way and then reward it with more effort. You don't keep chasing someone who shows low interest. You match energy, and then you step back. If someone wants to be in your life, they meet you halfway. You aren't a background option. Now there is another piece to all of this, leadership. A lot of guys hear that word and think of control or ego. That's not it. Leading simply means you have a clear direction and you're willing to move first. You make plans, you make decisions, you take action. You don't sit around waiting for her to tell you what to do, where to go, how to live. A woman feels safe with a man who leads himself. She can relax around that. She doesn't have to manage his emotions, push him to grow, or drag him through life. Most women don't actually want to be in charge of everything in a relationship. They just end up there because the guy doesn't step up. When you chase, you give her that role. You put her in control. You keep asking what she wants, what she thinks, where you stand, if you are good enough. You cancel plans when she is suddenly free. You adjust everything to fit her schedule. She might enjoy the attention at first, but over time it feels heavy. She starts to feel like the parent in the dynamic. When you lead, you do the opposite. You build a life that is already moving. You invite her into it, but you don't pause your progress to babysit the connection. You plan dates that match your lifestyle instead of forcing something unnatural. You stick to your routines even when you start seeing someone. You respect your sleep, your work, your training. That doesn't mean you ignore her or never adapt. It means you don't betray your own priorities to keep her happy for 5 minutes. You don't skip important work because she is bored. You don't stop doing what keeps you stable just because she wants more time that day. You balance both, but your base stays the same. This kind of leadership shows most when things are not going well. She is emotional, she is stressed, she is distant. The weak move is to mirror all of that and fall apart with her. The strong move is to stay steady, listen, say what you need to say, and not lose yourself in the process. You don't react to every spike. You don't turn every small problem into a big drama. Women pay attention to this more than they admit. They watch what happens to your mood when they pull back. They notice if you become clingy or angry. They watch if you still stick to your gym session, your work, your sleep, or if you let everything slide the second. That is where their respect rises or drops. You become the man who doesn't chase by changing the daily habits that make you needy in the first place. Stop stalking her online. Stop replying in seconds, just because you have nothing else going on. Stop rearranging your life around someone you're not even in a committed relationship with. Instead, set blocks of time where you work and stay off your phone. Set hours where you train. Stick to them. As your life fills up with real effort, something shifts inside you. You don't have the same space to obsess. You start to see how much mental energy you wasted before. You respect yourself more, and because of that, you naturally expect more from others. You don't tolerate half effort. You don't feel scared to lose toxic connections, because you know you will be fine either way. And yeah, she will feel that difference. She might text faster. She might be more gentle. She might put in more effort. Not because you use some trick, but because your energy stopped screaming, "Please pick me." Your energy is now saying, "I'm good either way, but if you are here, we move with respect and effort." Some girls won't like that shift. They liked you better when you were easy to control, always available, always chasing. When you stop playing that role, they might get cold, complain, or disappear. Let them. You are not responsible for keeping someone like that comfortable. Losing those people is part of the process. The right kind of woman doesn't want a broken version of you. She doesn't want to raise you. She doesn't want to guess what mood you're in every hour and adjust her behavior to protect you. She wants to stand next to a man who is already moving, who already has a plan, and who stays calm when things get messy. To become that man, you need structure. You can't just feel your way into it. Set a simple morning routine and take it seriously. Wake up, make your bed, move your body, plan your day. Eat in a way that doesn't destroy your energy. Cut down on useless screen time. Create a few non-negotiables. The gym, some kind of learning, focused work. Do them even when you don't feel like it. Your confidence doesn't come from repeating phrases in the mirror. It comes from keeping promises to yourself. It comes from doing what you said you would do. The more you live like that, the less interest you have in begging anyone to like you. You are too busy improving. You are too busy building. You also start to see women more clearly. When you are desperate, you ignore red flags because you are scared of losing them. When you have self-respect, you notice patterns. Constant drama, disrespect, games, mixed signals. You don't chase that. You don't try to fix it. You send one clear signal with your actions. If it doesn't feel healthy, you step back. Rejection then stops feeling like a personal attack and starts feeling like sorting. Some girls won't like your standards. Some won't like your focus. Some won't like that you won't play games. Fine, they leave. You keep walking. This is how you end up with people who actually fit your life instead of anyone who happens to pay attention to you for a moment. In the end, gaining power with women is not about controlling them at all. It is about having control over yourself, over your reactions, over your time, over your standards. When you live that way, she either respects it and comes closer, or she steps away. Both outcomes are okay because your foundation doesn't depend on her choice. So if you recognize yourself in the guy who waits all day for a reply, who drops everything for one person, who keeps saying yes when he wants to say no, this is your signal. You don't have to stay that guy. Start small. One harder decision today. 1 hour off your phone, one workout you don't skip, one boundary you hold, then repeat. Little by little, you become someone new, someone more stable, someone more focused, someone she can look at and feel safe around, someone you can look at and respect. And once you reach that point, you won't be asking how to make her stay. You'll be busy living in a way that makes the right people want to stay on their own.